So although we're not going to long multiplication in the pre-GCSE videos, we will have a look now at what happens if we want to multiply a 2-digit number or 3-digit number by a single-digit number. So an example here is 23, which has got 2 digits, 2 and 3, by 8, which has got 1 digit. I mean, we've looked at simpler multiplication, and some of them you just simply have to learn your times tables for. But in this case, we're going to use a different trick, because doing 23 times 8, it's your times tables and then your times table again and add them together, and it gets very complicated. So there's a simpler way to do it by writing it down. So rather than simply going on 23 times going up in 8s, what we're going to do is we're going to write down the number of 23 and underneath it put the times sign and the number 8. Notice how I've lined up the units, which we always try to do in maths. Incidentally, whenever we're going on about, keeping things nice and tidy, there's a reason for that in maths. It's not just because your parents tell you or your teacher tells you or whatever you've got tells you. It's simply because it allows you to see your mistakes, to correct them, and it makes calculations easier. So now we can do 3 times 8. So you should know your times tables. If you don't know the times tables, that's something you have to sit down and learn and memorize. But 3 times 8 is 24. So what I do is I put the units in underneath the column I'm working with. So the 4 goes here and the 2 goes over under the next column. Then I'm going to do 2 times 8, which is 16, and the 6, the units, goes under the column and the 1 goes over, but we've got to add on the number underneath. So I got 2 times 8 is 16, but I added the 2 on to make it 18 with the 1 going over. And then finally in the third column there's nothing to multiply by 8, so we just put the 1 that was underneath, we added on to the 0, giving us 184. So we multiplied the 8 by 3, giving us 24. The 2 went over, the 4 went in the column. We multiplied the 2 by 8, giving us 16. We added the 2 on, making it 18. 8 went under in the column, the 1 went over. And then because we're not multiplying the hundreds column by anything, because there is no hundreds column, we simply add the 1 on, put the 1 up to make it 184.